For today's Cyber CEO episode,
it leveraged time for sure because I would spend a couple hours here and there trying to figure out how to do things the right way. And it's kind of was always been my joke with my Cyberbacker was you can do this in a short day where it'd take me 2 weeks to figure it all out and still do it partially wrong. And then I would just be frustrated and I would just leave it be as not really exactly right. But I was very quick to go do what I like to do and go do what I can make money at. And there's a big, huge package of things that they do for me. And it's being done and kind of behind the scenes. Like I don't even see it's being done. And then all of a sudden at the very end of the day or the end of the week, I get to see all these things that are done. And it's like, wow, you sit back and go, I didn't realize all that stuff got done in the last month. And I've been working on it for probably 2 or 3 years and never got it finished.
welcome to Cyber CEO, wherein we talk about how our cyberbackers helped our cyber CEOs take their businesses to the next level. Cyber CEO is powered by Cyberbacker, the world's leading provider of admin support services from anywhere in the world to anyone in the world. Please visit our website www.cyberbacker.com for more details. Another awesome day here at Cyberbacker. My name is Jello. We're back with another episode of Cyber CEO. And of course, we have a very special guest on the show. Mark, how are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you very much for asking and for dropping by. I know you have a lot of things to do. Really appreciate you being here today. Now, to start things off, to let you know, we have a lot of listeners who are business owners just like yourself. So I need your help. Can you introduce yourself to our audience? Maybe we can start with, what's your role in the business, Mark?
I have a Cyberbacker that I hired a while back, and I am a real estate agent full-time for about 19 years.
19 years in the business. A lot of experience right there. Now, good question. How about working with someone virtual, just like what you're doing with Cyberbacker? Is this your first time to do it?
It is my first time.
First time. Was it a big change for you?
Not necessarily a big change, but it was a little bit overwhelming right at first, trying to figure out how it was going to all work, but it was actually super smooth. And when it was all said and done.
All right. Super smooth transition. All right. Now, how were you introduced to Cyberbacker anyway?
I was at a 𝗙𝗹𝗋𝗶𝗹 conference and actually met through a virtual Cyberbacker meeting there.
Oh, so you were invited? You were there? On the virtual Cyberbacker meeting?
Yes. No, I was at a convention. And they had a network area set up, and Cyberbacker was there. And I had talked to other people about it. I had some interest, and so I went and did one of the virtual tours with actually like a robot almost. And then I had somebody there, and so it was really cool.
So that was your first introduction to virtual leverage as well?
Yes, correct.
Gotcha. Now, let's talk more about your Cyberbacker experience then. First off, the hiring process. So how did that experience go for you, Mark?
I kind of went through a list and put some high points and some ideas of what I wanted in a Cyberbacker, what my expectations were. And they sent me, I believe, 5 or 6 applicants, and I got to review them ahead of time. I got to read some information. They had a resume, a little short video, and then I did maybe a 10-minute meet and greet with them virtually. And then I had a little bit of time to think about it. And actually the first 5 that I had didn't really meet my criteria, and they were like, no problem. And I asked them to pinpoint on a couple different areas, and next few days later I had 3 more. And then of those 3, I was happy with all of them, and I picked one of them.
Right. Now, going into that hiring process, though, did you have a specific set of skills or qualification that you were looking for the role that you needed to fill in?
Yeah, I did have a specific role or roles in mind, and they had kind of a list of high point, low point areas. So, we kind of meshed those together, and it worked out great.
All right. That's good to know. That's good to know. Now, more about your Cyberbacker experience then. What are the tasks that you leverage off to your Cyberbacker?
So I'm out and about quite a bit, and I leveraged off a lot of my marketing, a lot of my data entry. I've got a pretty large database that I wanted to get cleaned up or get scrubbed. They worked on that and got a lot of true good information into my database. that was all in my CMA program. And we're now moving out on doing drip campaigns and smart plans. But I wanted all that information to be fairly clean and accurate. You're never going to get it perfect,
Of course.
but that was something that they could dedicate, hours to, or I could only dedicate maybe an hour a day where they were spending all day on. And so it was, the leverage for that alone was excellent.
Perfect. That's good to know. Now, what I'm curious to know more about is, of course, here in Cyberbacker, we provide a training even before they start working with you. Now, did that training in any way help you save any time, Mark?
I'm assuming it did. I guess I kind of, one of my criteria was I didn't want to have to do a ton of training myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to kind of have let's get through the training process and then let's get up and running. And I didn't want to have to be hands-on a lot. And that was one of my big things. And I wanted to make sure they had the initiative to take my ideas and run with it and then give me an idea how they're going to fix what I have a question about. So it worked really well.
Perfect. Now, next question though. How did virtual leverage and Cyberbacker help you with your business? How did it help? Did it leverage time so you can focus on other things? Tell me more about
it. It leveraged time for sure, because I would spend a couple hours here and there trying to figure out how to do things the right way. And it's kind of was always been my joke with my Cyberbacker was, you can do this in a short day where it'd take me 2 weeks to figure it all out and still do it partially wrong. And then I would just be frustrated and I would just leave it be as not really exactly right. Or I would just cancel it and start back over with the next time I had time again. And so a lot of things never got finished. I get started and then I would never get finished on them.
Now, a lot of the beauty, of virtual leverage, being able to leverage off a lot of things so you can focus on the things that matter the most, right?
Yes.
Now, since this is your first time working with someone virtual, I was wondering if you had any tips that you can share with our listeners, because we'd like to know, how do you create a successful and a strong partnership with someone who's virtual? Do you have any tips that you can share, Mark?
Clear communication is probably the best thing for me. I do ask that a lot of our communication is done through email, so I can go back and reference off of it. I get going in 3 different directions, and then I forget what was exactly said today versus yesterday. I love at the end of the day, I get an end of the day report that explains what they did. I love the fact that I can just, if I suddenly have an idea of something I want to do or try, I just shoot that off to them, even if it's not even on their normal hours. And if they're free at that time, they reply. Otherwise, they reply on their normal hours that they're working for me. So communication is really, really key. And I set that expectation up right away at the beginning, that I want to just communicate back and forth on a kind of a, daily basis, but not a strict timeline on it.
Gotcha. So really, communication is very important, because again, you're already working with someone who's offshore. So no communication, then the partnership won't work, right?
Right. Exactly.
Now, one last thing before we go, and we just wanted to know, what is the most important thing that you've learned about virtual leverage, and what's the most important thing about it, Mark?
I think the most important thing would be that every day a little bit of something is getting done that I know that I would put off. And so, it's going to be a time thing, or it's going to take maybe 30 days to do one item, or it might take 6 months to do one item, and some things will be ongoing forever. But I was very quick to go do what I like to do and go do what I can make money at. And these were things I needed to do. I could find somebody here locally, in the Midwest where I'm from, but it wasn't financially right. It just wasn't a fit. And there's a big, huge package of things that they do for me, and it's being done and kind of behind the scenes. Like, I don't even see it's being done. And then all of a sudden at the very end of the day, or the end of the week or month, or depending on what your timeline is, I get to see all these things that are done. And, it's like, wow, you sit back and go, I didn't realize all that stuff got done in the last month. And I've been working on it for probably 2 or 3 years and never got it finished.
Now, this beauty of virtual leverage, again, saving time, saving money as well. Now, Mark, we are very, very excited to see where this partnership grows to, of course, for the next couple of months. And again, thank you very much for dropping by today. I had fun talking to you.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you for listening to our daily dose of Cyber CEO. Stay tuned to know more about how Cyberbacker creates a difference in this digital time and age. You can visit our website www.cyberbacker.com and follow our social media pages on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Spotify.